God, that was a little bit loud. Alright. Let's get into it. Everything should be set up in terms of audio. Let's go. I've now got to switch monitor screens manually. Cheers. Cheers, monitor, for having one HDMI port, and to F1 Championship Edition for not working with the HDMI splitter. It just doesn't work. I have no idea why. Anyway, I've barely loaded up the game. It literally just come into it. There's which one do I want to use? You know what? We're gonna create a new one. We're gonna create a new one for this stream. Why not? Why not? Okay. Name. Where's the S? There's the S. How do we do this? It's like that. It's like that, isn't it? Speeding. This one is all capitals, isn't it? They change from game to game sometimes. I don't understand why. Short name. SV. No, that'll do. That'll do. Just SV. Just SV. British. Yeah. Head. That'll do. I don't quite have the full-on goatee yet, sadly. I mean, most of the helmets are pretty much just flags. What's that one? 'Cause I tend to have just a plain helmet, somewhat plain. Yeah, I'll go for that. Would you like to create a new profile? Yes, I would. I have to save over one of these. Fair enough. I'll save over this one. Right. I can't stream for as long as I want to, sadly, because I am going to be flying later on. So, like me actually piloting the plane, which can only turn out very well. Let's be honest, as I'm about to demonstrate here with my F1 Championship Edition skills. Okay, that's not what I wanted to click first. I want to click email first. Nathan Thomas is my agent for this career mode. Yep, okay. Right, obviously we're gonna go Scuderia Toro Rosso first. It is a Maxi course! Yes! Yes! Oh, this is possibly that. I probably should have put a warning for headphone users in there. I'm just gonna move my mic slightly away from my face because even I can hear that I'm loud. So this, if you haven't actually paid much attention to this game, oh, we've got to do 10 laps. Jeez. So if you haven't actually played this game much at all, or if you're maybe a bit too young, or just haven't played it in general, Magny Core is possibly what's the okay. Driving aids, braking assist off. I haven't set the controls or anything. This is gonna go horribly wrong. Yep, that'll do. That'll do. Right, let's go. I'm using X. I'm using X for accelerate. Oh, this is not gonna go well, is it? Bam, bam. Oh god, that's an incredible start to the first lap. I'm already starting to break the car. Toro, Rosso, like Red Bull, are gonna love me. They're gonna love me as a prospect. I break the car before I even have a seat, and that's a little bit wide. But we've kept it just about on the track. Lots of times we've gone to the bridge, almost getting at 20 seconds. That's not the greatest of starts to a lap. Breaking 100-meter board, I think that was. Getting it a little bit too slow down there. But we're still going through fine. 26.7 was the first sector time. Oh god, I've hit the grass. I've hit the grass. I've gone horribly wrong. This has gone well. This has gone so well. This could not have gone better for a first lap, and I've still got steering assist on. I'm pretty certain. I can't remember. I've not played this game in ages. I cannot remember if I genuinely played with steering assist or not. All I know is this is going horrendously wrong. Come on. 1 minute. What's our first lap going to be? We may have mucked it up horrendously, and it won't actually be a timed lap. That's traction control has saved our lives twice in a row. 1:18.0. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Just modulating the throttle. That's a little bit wide. This time it's on the grass. But we had a better start to the lap and a 1:18, I think, 0.8 as we went under the bridge there. That is probably about a second improvement. Braking just after the 100-meter board, getting it a little bit wide, slowing it down. But we are a second quicker in the first sector on this second lap. Let's see if we can not hit the grass this time. Going into the chicane, trying to keep it flat out. I've had to lift, otherwise I was going to go pinging off wide on the exit, as we're keeping it nice and tight through the left-hander. Exiting out now to the next chicane as we go across the second sector split time. I'm just going to lift into the first part, braking for the second part because I didn't quite turn in early enough, and braking just before the curb starts, letting it just roll through and then flooring it out as we go under the final bridge. We're at a 105 as we go through there. This could be an okay lap. Braking as late as I dare into the penultimate corner, and we go through the final chicane, and it is a 1:15.2. That is 1.6 seconds ahead of the target lap time, and that is why I love this circuit so much on this game, because it is so easy to get the target time. And I've kept my foot on the throttle this time as we go wide, but that is still going to be an improvement. Let's see what the time is as we go across the first sector split, as we brake now for the hairpin, braking a little bit earlier, getting it nice and tight on the apex, and we're over half a second quicker once again. Come on, Red Bull, just sign me up to the main team instantly. Just sign me up for the A team. Just replace Clean. He's not exactly good. Just replace Christian Clean with me, as I've dipped a tyre on the gravel a little bit there. We might be a slower second sector. Yep, we are. We're 10th down, 2/10 down. I think I've had maybe a slightly better run through there. I've pushed it a little bit more through the right-hander. What's that time as we go under the bridge? It's a little under, 105. As we roll it through the final set of corners, clipping the curbs just slightly, and it's a 1:14.5. Well then, that's interesting. Oh, I've gone wide. I mean, I don't need to do anything anymore. I'm over 2 seconds quicker than the target time. 1:14.5 is like a decent time on a race weekend, like a top team time on a race weekend, and I'm doing it in testing, in pre-season testing, in a Toro Rosso. I'm just gonna, well, I try to get it flat out. That's apparently that is valid. I mean, track track limits are questionable at best, and we'll slow that. As I've just rolled it through without braking this time around, dipped a tyre on the gravel on the exit of the chicane, but that might have been just a quicker roll through than actually braking, so not that I care, I'll be honest. I'm over 2 seconds quicker than the target time. That is a little bit sideways, and that's still quicker than the target time, and that was a horrendous first couple of sectors. So I don't need to do another actual lap, but I still have to complete the test, because you can't not complete the... If you don't complete the test, you fail, which means you don't get a drive. Whereas if I just drive around now, I'm gonna brake early, and I'm gonna... For God's sake, steering... Right, I'm turning that off. I'm turning steering assist off. There we go. There we go. That's what X button for accelerate is still very weird, along with square for brake. I've mucked that up a little bit. A little bit of a corner cut, just a little bit, a little bit of one there. I'm gonna cut this next corner, so I'm gonna cut the chicanes for a couple of laps, then just drive around casually on a lap, so I don't get failed instantly. But on the bright side, this is gonna be... Actually, it's still gonna be a slow lap because of earlier on. Breaking down. Oh, I've cut that corner. Let's get the chicane right. Let's get the chicane right. That was okay. And I was 2/10 off the target time, despite my first couple of corners. Oh no, that's wide. That's wide. That's wide. I say wide. That was too tight. But you know what I meant. You know what I meant. Okay, approaching the hairpin once again. I'm going to brake early again this time and cut the corner. That's gone well. A little bit of oversteer on the exit. Magny coin under a minute. Let's go. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. We're already approaching 50 seconds and I'm nowhere near the finish. Alright, I'll take this one properly. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. And I broke too early for the next corner. But that was a beautiful roll through that chicane as we approach the penultimate corner now. Getting it okay this time, a little bit wide. And I run through the final chicane. That is over the curb by a mile. But we're still beat the target time by nearly a second, and we're still going through. Right, I won't cut the corner this time, just to make sure I don't get failed, as that is wide on exit. Trying to keep the throttle on as much as I can, and that has been a fairly slow run through the first sector. What is the time as we break down for the hairpin? We are 1.5 seconds off our best first sector time. Oh dear. Oh dear. Little slight lift and I've accidentally cut the corner this time. Just letting it roll through because it likes to understeer on that corner as we've gone a little bit wide there. But that shouldn't affect the time too much. Not that it matters because... Oh, that's gone wrong. Because the lap time is invalidated. A little bit wide there on the right-hander as well. Let's see what this lap could have been with the muck-up in the second chicane. Oh, that is a little bit late on the brakes there, and I've gone wide. I've gone all the way over the curb, and we're still ahead of the target time. Incredible. Just incredible. Alright, braking down into turn 1, flooring it as much as I can, keeping it as tight as I can so I don't drift out wide like that on the exit. But it hasn't been great once again. I mean, we have had a poor final corner exit because we've got all over the curb, braking down at the 100-meter board roughly, and we're again around 1.5 seconds off the pace in the first sector. A little bit quicker this time around. Oh, that is flat. That is flat. That is how you want to take that chicane. That is beautiful. A little bit wide on entry into the left-hander, but we've got a good exit. And that chicane was beautiful. Shame we couldn't have had a good start to the lap. Now what about this next chicane? Just letting it roll through. I've cut the corner slightly. Never mind. And I've gone a little bit wide there on the exit. But that first chicane was beautiful, to say the least. As we've got nicely down into the penultimate corner, going wide on entry into the final chicane, but that is still going to be a decent exit as we now go around turn 1 and 2, breaking down into turn 3, keeping it nice and tidy, just modulating the throttle, and that is a great turn 3 as we ping out on to the run down to the hairpin, and this could be a very good first sector. I might try actually try on this lap, because this looks like a very decent lap, breaking down at approximately the 100-meter board. We are, oh, never mind, I've spun it. We were half a tenth just about down on our first sector time, and that was a beautiful first sector, especially turn 3. There's the understeer coming into play, a huge understeer. Okay, let's try that once again on the final lap. This is the penultimate lap, I believe. So we're going to just cut this corner, breaking down where it actually tells you to brake, but that is still pinged as wide. Let's see what this lap's going to be, despite the fact that we've cut a corner and made a huge mistake at the hairpin. Oh, I've got that corner a little bit wrong. Right, just steadying the car, and that's still quicker than the target time. Now let's go, braking as late as I dare. We've gone a little bit wide, but we can use that to ping us around, and that has been a decent run. We went a little bit wide, but that still should be a fairly good run. Hopefully we're somewhat close to the first sector time we have set so far, braking at the 100-meter bottom. Actually, that is quicker by the looks of it on the graphic on the map on the left, but up in the top right it doesn't say anything in terms of our time. So we're just going to go for it. I've gone a little bit wide, and that is a corner cut right there. It did not turn in early enough as we just let it roll through the left-hander. A very understeery left-hander. And that is going to be green once again, theoretically. No, it isn't. But I think I cut the first part of the chicane there, but we let it roll through. As overall, it's actually been a fairly decent lap. Just I sort of mucked up that first chicane a little bit. That is wide. That is very wide. That is the gravel, and this will not be a good exit out. And that was the final lap. We have passed the test with flying colours. As I was just checking the stream there, because apparently it doesn't like it. The quality doesn't seem to be the greatest. I mean, I am trying to stream with the exact same settings that I was using on my computer, on my gaming computer, which is much better of a computer than this one. But Toro Rosso want to sign us as the second driver. I will sign that straight away. No new emails. There is a couple of news notifications. Exciting season in prospect, with only a few weeks left before the season opener in Bahrain. It's an exciting time for the teams involved, with final pre-season tweaks, testing sessions, and bedding in new driver lineups. It's not a time for teams to sit back and rest on their laurels. What kind of word is that? Supergray F1 team's technical director puts it another way. The first round of the championship sets the pace for the rest of the season, so it's vital that we're thoroughly prepared both technically, and that will not let me scroll down to see the rest of it. Ah, there we go. And mentally. Gentlemen, start your engines. Fair enough. And the other one was about us joining Toro Rosso. So we're going to advance on ahead now, and there we go. Our background is now a Toro Rosso background. We've got an email from Scuderia Toro Rosso welcoming us to the team. We'll be alongside Vitantonio Liuzzi, I believe, and Scott Speed will be replaced by us and drop down to test driver. Speed will certainly be present, although it is unclear if his teammate will be joining him in what is expected to be a rigorous test program. Yep, that is just a fuel test for Bahrain. So yeah, Scott Speed will be taking part in that test session. I believe I won't be. Nah, I don't think I will. Instead, I will be going straight to qualifying and just chucking on a low downforce setup. And I say I'll be going at some point today. I have no idea when. And hopefully it doesn't get cancelled like it did last week. Start Grand Prix, choose session, qualifying. Yes, I want to skip straight to qualifying. No need for practice on this game. Okay, it was all caps in F1 2017. It's not all caps on this one, clearly. Never mind. Car setup, handling. Actually, no, I'll just go tyres and grip. Tyres, hard, sure. It's not tyres and grip. It's on speed, isn't it? Speed. Downforce, speed, grip, balance, speed. We'll go for speed. I'll just leave the gearbox as it is for now, and we shall leave the garage. This is also a fairly easy track compared to the AI. With Super Guru you can do very well at this track. As braking as the red marker line starts, letting it roll through turn 1 looks a little bit different compared to modern F1 games, and if you get it wrong you can spin out on these auto spin curbs. As we approach turn 4, braking just before the curb starts, we've gone a little bit wide, we've gone very wide, but it hasn't invalidated our lap time, so we shall continue on. Let's see what we can do, as I've gone very wide once again. That has invalidated our lap time, and there's the auto spin curb. There it is. It was here somewhere, and that has put us back round. Why do I have spin recovery? As we shall roll it through on the outside. What is our review button? That is it, R1. We've got Midlands behind us, we don't need to worry about that. Taking it nice and wide into turn 9 as we roll it through turn 10, a little bit wide once again. Hopefully we can just run away from the Midlands. You know, a V10 powered car. Ha! We've got V10, you've got V8. Of course, we're the only car running the V10 engine on the grid this season, because they switched to V8s, but due to backing reasons and the fact that Toro Rosso is still very much Minardi so far this season, we are running the V10 from last season. As we approach the final corner now to start again with our timed lap calm run through the final corner, and now we are just going to floor it and see what lap time we can actually do. As we get a 1:42.3, incredible lap time. Braking down now for the first corner, heavy braking, let it roll through on the inside, keeping it nice and tight for the exit as we go through turns 2 and 3. And Liuzzi, our teammate, has done a 1:40.0, so even with our mistakes we were not far off our teammate, easily catch-upable, if that is a word. And we've gone slower than our first sector, but we've clipped the curb, and that has sent us wide. Clipped something at least, as that is wide again at the hairpin. We are just going wide pretty much every single corner currently, but we keep it wide a little bit on purpose through turn 9. As turn 10 tries to spin us out a little bit with the curb, we resist it with a bit of opposite lock, and hopefully we can get this one right. There is a little bit of oil on the racetrack somewhere. Someone's had an engine failure here in qualifying. Just going to keep it off the racing line, and I'm glad I did, because it was right there on the racing line. Through the corners, we've spun on another auto spin curb. Gotta love those auto spin curbs. Let's just see what this lap is. A little bit of a banker lap. A little bit of a banker lap. I know we've spun, but that can still be a banker lap. As we keep it calm through the final corner, running a little bit wide. And we'll get in the slipstream of the Midlands car before we return it to garage. Let's see what lap time we have put in, and it is a 1:41.7. Let's put us in 10th for now. And we shall return to garage. We are 21st. We're behind Sato, but we're ahead of Albers. It's in a 1:49.2, but we shall go again. We'll go again here in qualifying. And braking a little bit after the red line starts this time around, but getting it nice and tight into turn 1. Keeping it tidy through the first 3 corners to get the best run we can down to turn 4. We've got a Super Aguri behind, I believe. Braking before that curb starts on the outside. Getting it nice and tidy through turn 4. Let's see if we can get it right this time through the sort of like a chicane, a little bit of an S section, as we're 7/10ths up on our time. We're a little bit wide through the hairpin once again, but this lap has been a much better run than previous, as we're keeping it nice and wide through turn 9 to get the best run we can through turn 10, but we have mucked that up a little bit, braked a little bit too early, turned in a little bit too early, and let ourselves go wide as we try to correct that. As we've gone wide, going in to the left-hander, we've just about kept it on the track. That shouldn't cost us too much time in reality compared to the other drivers, as they do tend to be rather slow around Bahrain. Going down towards the final corner now, as we get towards around 3 minutes left in the session, keeping it somewhat tidy. Got a little bit too early on the brakes and on turn-in, so we hopped over the curb a little bit too much, but that should be a rather comfortable lap, and that's put us 8th place. That will do. That will do. We're at 2 seconds quicker than 16th place, as we're ahead of Kimi Räikkönen. But there we go. Qualifying comes to an end now, and we have ended off in 8th on 9th place. 9th place, there we go, here in Q1. Liuzzi has out-qualified Mark Webber in the Williams, so good driving by Liuzzi, my teammate. But we're going to go out straight away here in Q2, trying to see if we can get into Q3. Of course, we would have qualified for Q3 based on last qualifying round. But we are now just keeping it nice and tight. We've run a little bit wide there. Careful as we turn in through turn 3, as you can auto spin there on the sandy part of the track, as we've gone a little bit wide there in turn 4, but we've rolled it through nice and tidily, and not too bad of a first sector, keeping it nice and tidy through the S section down into the hairpin now. Let's see if we can get this right. Yes, we can. We haven't gone wide like we do pretty much every single lap so far, and going down into turns 9 and 10, got off the brake a little bit just to try and make sure we roll it through nicely. Went a little bit wide through turn 10, but that should be fine as we approach the next left-hander in the sort of boot section of the track. We've gone wide once again, but once again that should not cost us too much time. It's a little lift off as we start to drift wide, rolling it through nicely through the penultimate corner, and we're on the run down to the final corner now. Let's see if we can get it right this time. We go on the brakes a little bit too early in our lap in Q1. We've just kept it nice and tidy there through the final corner. We'll exit out, and this is a very decent lap, showcasing how easy the AI is here in Bahrain. As Ralf Schumacher set a 1:35 something, we set a 1:34.2, and that should easily see us into Q3. Just going to end the session straight away, and we have gone through in first place. A fairly easy qualifying session there, and we're going to go out. We'll do with one stop. We'll pit on lap 6, and I think I'm probably going to be able to just do one lap, because that's how easy the AI is here in Bahrain. I've kept it a little bit wider on exit this time through turn 1. But we've still got a very nice run through turns 2 and 3. As we now approach turn 4, of course, heavier fuel. We're going to have to brake a little bit earlier. We've gone a little bit wide, but we've rolled it through nicely still. And that will be a slower sector, 26.5. Not too much slower though. Oh, that is a very nice run through the yes section there. And going into the hairpin, braking nice and early, hitting the apex, and just drifting out wide as we exit out towards turns 9 and 10 as we get onto the boot section of the track, braking around where I started to muck it up before, but that has worked beautifully this time. A very nice run there through turns 9 and 10. We now approach the next left-hander, sort of the heel part of the boot, and we've kept it a little bit tidier this time. We still ran wide, but that is a better run through there, turning it a little bit earlier, and we can keep it flat out this time, running a little bit wide, but we're not going to spin out there, so we don't have to worry too badly. And now we've got the run down to the final climb. This has been a very decent lap considering we're on race fuel. We've got 28 laps of fuel. Normally we would just continue running round the track as we've got a little bit too tightly there, but that hasn't cost us too much time thanks to traction control. But this has been a very decent lap considering we're on race fuel, and that is a 1:35.6. Michael Schumacher's in the 1:37 so far, and Giancarlo Fisichella's got a 1:36. Jarno Trulli is on a 1:36.1. He's in 3rd place. We've got Felipe Massa in 4th. Jenson Button in 5th place for now. Michael Schumacher with his 1:36.8 now is in 8th place, and Alonso, the current reigning champion, down in 9th place. But I'm just going to end the session straight off. Jarno Trulli is the man in 2nd place on a 1:35.9. Fisichella 2nd, Fisichella 2nd, Fisichella 3rd, Massa 4th, Montoya 5th, Button 6th, Schumacher and Ralf Schumacher in 7th and 8th, the two Schumacher brothers there together. Alonso 9th and Kimi Räikkönen in 10th place. So, of course, we got the best lap with a 1:34.2, getting us into Q3 from Q2. And Liuzzi out-qualifying Webber, so he hasn't done too badly. His best lap is... well, it's quicker than Villeneuve's Q2 time. It's quicker than Klian's Q2 time as well. But a little ways off their best qualifying times. Barrichello was one of the top guys eliminated in Q2 thanks to me. So we go, there is our race strategy. We're pitting in the middle of the race, and let us go now into the race. I'm not doing any parade laps, so we can just quickly get straight into it. There is all the grids behind us, and that is a fairly okay start. Trulli getting a decent one as well. Massa getting an okay start as he tries to go up the inside of Fisichella, braking cautiously into turn 1. Don't want to run too wide as Fisichella is up the inside of Jarno Trulli. Can he get it on the exit? No, Trulli comes across him and cuts it off as Fisichella looks to go up the inside of Trulli once again, this time in to turn 4 as we've run wide. Just watching the battle behind as Trulli looks to have got a very decent exit. What about Felipe Massa with Fisichella? As we don't want to run too wide, just trying to watch everything going on behind us. And that is a okay run through the hairpin, a little bit wide on exit. It looks like Trulli has fended off Giancarlo Fisichella for now. To keep it a little bit wider into turn 9 this time around, a little bit tighter even into turn 9 this time around, but still fairly nice run through turn 10 as Trulli looks to comfortably have that position now in 2nd place. So two people you wouldn't particularly expect to be 1st and 2nd. Of course, Trulli did qualify on pole in 2005 for the American Grand Prix, but obviously we know what happened there at the United States Grand Prix. And Toro was actually 2/10 off me in the second sector. However, he's lost some ground as we run down into the final corner. Run a little bit wide on the exit, but that has still been a fairly nice and tidy run through there. And we've pulled off a gap now to Jarno Trulli. As we set a 140.3 on our first lap. That is sort of a banker lap for Liuzzi in qualifying. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, it's fair to say we're a little bit quicker than our teammates. Physically is right on the back of Jarno Trulli now. Will he have a look up the inside into turn 4 as we've broken a little bit late, but we get it slowed down just in time for the apex as my throat is starting to die. I think I'm going to struggle to make it through commentating this race without coughing. My throat is very bad at the moment. But here we are. So not all of the season will be like this. I'm telling you now, not all of the season will be like this because I mean, what's next? I can't remember what's next. That is a fairly, it's an average AI track. However, Australia I do tend to do somewhat badly against the AI. I think I qualified when I was doing it before. I got terrible selections for tracks for both Midlands and Toro Rosso, as that is fairly wide, and I ended up driving for Super Guri, and at Australia I qualified last. Qualified behind Sato. Oh god, that is fairly early, and Trulli has gained heaps of time there.
Drivers start their third lap. You now lead the race.
But as I was saying, I qualified last for Australia, and although I did have a fairly okay battle with Takuma Sato throughout that race, my teammate, but I wasn't exactly a race winning pace like now, as oh, the auto spin curve's almost getting me there, as everything is going wrong here on lap 3, as Massa's joining the fight now, and we've got McLaren and Schumacher back there. That is Juan Pablo Montoya in the McLaren, thanks to the graphic in the top left saying the top 5 runners, including me. Fisica's having a look up the inside into the left-hander, as we just keep it tidy, and Fisichella is through! Giancarlo Fisichella is through into second place, and he's having a much better start of the season than Fernando Alonso. As we've run wide on exits, we've nearly spun there, and Fisichella could have a look up the inside into the final corner. Of course, better in a straight line, the Renault. As he's getting very close there, as he's gone for it, Jarno Trulli's gone for it as well, we're out! We're out of this race, Jarno Trulli has knocked us out.
Incredibly, there doesn't look to be any damage. Well, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but
well then,
he can recover from it, that's another thing. You got yourself involved in that too.
That was unexpected.
Damage though, very lucky indeed.
And that is also unexpected. Juan Pablo Montoya wins the race. Felipe Massa second, Michael Schumacher third, Fisichella fourth. Where did Alonso finish? Rosberg somehow climbs up to 10th place. Coulthard there in 11th. Trulli gets the last of the points despite qualifying second place and knocking us out of the race. Jarno Trulli taking us out. Not happy that we're leading the race in Toro Rosso, and Alonso didn't finish either. Where did our teammate finish? Liuzzi finished up in 14th place, ahead of Klein as well as Mark Webber. So very good from Liuzzi, and he wasn't too far off Nick Heidfeld and Jacques Villeneuve in the BMW Saubers. As that is what is going on. What are they all doing? Okay, apparently the back markers are just flying through and the rest of the field are cruising. Oh, fair dues. Fair enough. So that has not been the start we wanted to the season. Ferrari are first in the constructors with McLaren second, Honda third, Renault in fourth place. As we're in ninth ahead of Super Guri and Midlands as we should be, but we should have had 10 points from this race, let's be honest. I did make a couple of muck-ups in on lap 3, but everyone at Scuderia Toro knows exactly what you're capable of behind the wheel. We know we made the right decision in hiring you, and if you can consistently put in good performances, then we'll be more than happy. You're a great driver, but to be fair, nothing we could do there. You're literally taking us out of the race, and that is such a shame. It's such a shame. We shall advance time now to the Malaysian Grand Prix. And my throat seems to have recovered slightly as I've cooled it down a little bit. But Jarno Trulli, what are you doing, man? You're not Ralf Schumacher, that's your teammate. Took us out. But hopefully we can bounce back. And in round 2 here in Malaysia, which is also fairly decent against the AI. I did say it was average, and yeah, it's probably about right. I have qualified mid-table here in the past, and I've gone for a stock setup here, I believe, which should be okay. Braking a little bit before the 50-meter board, as we just let it roll through somewhat okay. So we've run wide into the entry for turn 2, getting it nice and wide on the exit though. As we have a Honda and a Williams, I believe, behind us. Might be a BMW Sauber, as we've broken perfectly for turn 4. And we've rolled it through nicely. The AI appear to be a little bit quicker behind me, but they probably should be, in all honesty. We are only in a Toro Rosso here. As breaking down into the double right-handers. Keeping it nice and tight, running a little bit wide on the exit. We're keeping the cars behind at bay for now. Let's roll it through somewhat nicely in the hairpin. Now this is the tricky part of the track. The right-hander here, the flat left next, and then the right-hander with the braking zone on a corner. Here we are, as we run a little bit wide on the entry, but we've rolled it through nicely. We've got a very tight exit. That should get us a good straight line speed down into the final corner, and let's see what this lap's going to be. It should be good enough for Q2. It's been a fairly decent lap. It's braking a little bit later than the racing line suggests. We've run a little bit wide on the exit, but that shouldn't cost us too much time. And what is this lap? It is a 1:33.8. That is fairly decent. And I'm going to return to the garage and see where that puts us. We're in 9th place for now. We're behind Barrichello and Montoya. We're ahead of Nick Heidfeld and Ralf Schumacher. I'm going to end the session straight off. That should see us calmly into Q2. Liuzzi couldn't out-qualify one of the more established teams this time around. But he's only 3/10 off Villeneuve there in qualifying. So we'll go out for Q2, and that last lap was actually comfortable for Q3. So hopefully, who knows, maybe we can actually qualify. I've knocked the rear view button this time around, but that should be fine. Hasn't cost us too much time. We did run wide, but we should be okay as we run wide a fair amount there on the exit of turn 2. As we go down into turn 4, a little bit of a slower start to the lap. We've rolled it round. We haven't quite hit the apex this time around. But hopefully we can get this next corner a little bit better and keep it flat rather than lifting this time around, as we've taken the next corner a little bit too tightly. But we'll brake a little bit later here into the double right-handers, keeping it nice and tight once again, and we haven't run wide on exit this time around. We did of course clip that curb and it nearly spun us around. But that has been fine there. We've rolled it through nicely, clipping the curb on the inside. And it's been again a fairly tidy run here through the Malaysian Grand Prix circuit. And the flat left-hander. Let's see what we can do here into the braking zone. A very tricky braking zone, of course. We did see, I believe it was Sergio Perez back in 2012 maybe, in mixed conditions, battling for the race win against Fernando Alonso. And he didn't quite get that right and just went shooting off wide in the tricky conditions as it was drying off. And we haven't run wide this time on the exit of the final corner. Fairly tidy run once again. And what will this lap be? It will be a 1:34.1, a little bit slower than our Q1 time. Let's see where that puts us on the grid. We're in 9th place once again. We'll advance time. And we are right on the bubble. Half a second quicker than Trulli, who is in 11th place. We'll go out again just to make sure. Let's see if we can get an improvement on this time. Braking as late as we dare. We've rolled it wide. We can keep it nice and tidy. There, we keep it tidy through turn 2. We clip the curb a little bit too much, but we haven't run wide on an exit, so that should help us out on the run down into turn 4. Let's see, what is this first sector time? It is a green. We are half a second up on our first sector from the first lap. As we've run a little bit wide here, but we're keeping it flat. A little bit of a lift off there. We haven't clipped the curb this time. That should help us on the roll through. As we approach the double right-handers, keeping it nice and tidy. And we haven't clipped the curb this time either there. So this has been a fairly tidy run so far, braking a little bit later into the hairpin. We haven't quite hit the apex, but that is still an improvement on the time. That is another 3/10 up. As we calmly roll it through there, on the right-hander. As we now go through the flat out left, we run a little bit wide, we're onto the grass, but we've kept it flat. And just roll it through the penultimate corner, but we've run wide there as well. Not being the greatest final sector, but it should be enough for an improvement on the time to hopefully get us into Q3 once again. Of course, we're not quite as on the pace this time. We've taken a very wide entry with a very tight exit, and that is a fairly good exit, and hopefully this will be an improvement on the time. It'll be 1:34.2. We've not improved, and hopefully we're in. No, we're out. 12th place, but fair enough, we are in a Toro Rosso. And we'll just end that session straight away because we're not in it. And Jensen Button will be the man on pole position. Alonso again out-qualified by his teammate Giancarlo Fisichella. Of course, our best lap, the 9th best that was done here in the race, and hopefully we can last a little bit longer than 3 laps in this race. Trulli is starting directly ahead of us, so he is ahead of us this time. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because we're in the mid-pack here. As we try and get a fairly good start. That is a very good start. Trulli hugging that wall, having to make us go around the outside of him as we're up in to 9th place. There's Nick Heidfeld. He is the final point scorer so far. We're just going to cruise it through, and that has calmly put us up into 7th place as Raikkonen has had a poor exit off turn 2. Fisichella's had a poor start. He's down at 4th, but Alonso's had a decent start. He's up into 5th place. So the 2 Renaults next to each other now. Of course, Alonso didn't finish alongside me as Raikkonen has dived up my inside. I was too focused on the Renaults in front of me, who have had a little bit of contact there into turn 4. We've run wide as we took the turn 2 tightly. We've clipped the curb this time, and we've run wide there on the exit as well. As Kimi Raikkonen will now look maybe to dive bomb it up the inside, so we break as late as we dare into the double right-handers, and we are fair enough ahead of Kimi Raikkonen this time around, so we can focus on maybe trying to catch the 2 Renaults who are still battling up ahead into the hairpin. As Fisichella went defensive, and Alonso's 1 second ahead of me so far. Of course, no DRS or KERS here in 2006. As we've run wide there again, keeping it flat once again, very risky. We've run wide there through the penultimate corner onto the grass on the exit, as Kimi Raikkonen will have a look at closing in, maybe diving it up the inside into the final corner. The AI do love to dive bomb here on F1 Championship Edition, and he's definitely a dive bomb, isn't he? Braking as late as we dare, and we've run very wide, and we've run wide on the exit as well, and no doubt someone is going to throw it up my inside into turn 1. and sticking to the racing line. Someone is going to throw it up my inside. As we've run wide once again. Kimi Räikkönen is through calmly. He will say thank you very much for that position, as we've clipped him on the exit, and he's going to pull away now, and we're defending from Rubens Barrichello here in 7th place. Barrichello's going to throw it up my inside, isn't he? Yep, there he is. I just saw his car there on the inside, only just, and we're going to go around the outside of Kimi Räikkönen into turn 5. That is a very good move there, and we're back up into 6th place. The top 5 are running away as we defend our points position. It's a very good position here to be in the Scuderia Toro Rosso car. Very much still a Minardi, but even so, it is not exactly this level of car performance. As we roll it through nicely there in the right-hander. I think we've actually closed in a little bit on Fernando Alonso here, who is comfortably getting beaten by Giancarlo Fisichella again in this race. We've rolled it through a little bit wide, but we've still had a very decent exit out onto the back straight as we approach the final corner now. We've got a gap to Kimi Räikkönen and Rubens Barrichello now, so we should be fine. Breaking down will not run too wide this time around. Let it roll through, and we go flat out on the exit. That's a very nice exit, and that should help us close in, hopefully, into turn 1 on Fernando Alonso, who's 2.2 seconds ahead of us currently. That is a 1.3 second improvement on our time so far, as that is a very nice roll through there in turn 1. Approaching turn 2, we've kept it nice and tidy there on the racing line, and we're comfortably in 6th place now. So we can just focus on the race ahead. Focus on Fernando Alonso, as we've run wide there. That's how hard we are pushing here, to try and maybe catch up to the Spaniard, the current reigning world champion, who also didn't finish in Bahrain. It's not Melbourne. It's the opening round of the season here in 2006. I believe it was Commonwealth Games, because the reason for that, because it clashed with the Commonwealth Games. They were like, nah mate, we moved the F1 race. I mean, you could just have them clash, personally. I don't see the problem with that. They're both major sporting events. It just gives you more to cheer about in one go. But we seem to have a very decent final sector compared to the Renault car, as one of the Ferraris is just running off into the distance. I don't have any sound myself, so I don't know who that is. No doubt we would have been told by now with the commentary. It'd be very nice if someone was able to tell me who it was. I am live streaming this, of course, at the moment. Having fun doing these live streams, actually, because it means people can watch me live as I do them. Of course, a little bit of interaction with George, and I've just realised I haven't actually got the Streamlabs up and running. So I see where I am time-wise. I've cut the corner there. That's going to slow us down here 1 second. That is fair enough. But I'll see if I've got time here at the end of this race to do another one and open up Streamlabs. And just make sure, because obviously I'm on a different computer to when I streamed The Walking Dead. So it isn't properly set up. Of course, I've still have the starting screen up there. Made sure I had that, but I don't have the overlay on this one because I haven't got the thinking about my tags for each one for Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. I haven't got them up this time around, so because I don't have the images on this computer. It's the old one, and it isn't coping as well as my gaming computer in terms of streaming in HD, which isn't the greatest. It's okay, but I am running the same streaming setup currently.
Let's see who the top
in terms of bitrate and everything, which I suspect my computer doesn't like too much. I mean, it's average. It's average. You can maybe, if you like, 20 FPS and can somehow play it on that. So we've cut the corner again. Oh, we are mucking everything up this lap again. Oh, this time it is lap 3. So there we go. It's lap 4, I believe, this time around. But it's a fairly lonely race at the moment. I mean, we are here, lower reaches of the points. We're in the top 5 this time around. It's Felipe Massa out in front. Okay. So the 2 second drivers, well, 3 second drivers, are doing very well compared to their teammates, because Fisichella has been comfortably ahead of Alonso so far this season. That is very wide, but we've got it slowed down. We've had a nice tight exit there out on to the back straight. But Massa is comfortably ahead of Schumacher here, very comfortably ahead. And I believe we're pitting on the next lap. Yeah, no blue line there. We're going to keep it nice and tight through the final corner as Alonso comes in this time around. Let's see, does he jump Fisichella, I wonder? Because here in 2006 he won the overcut due to the refueling. So just going to roll it through turn 1 there, nice and tidy. We've gone a little bit wide on exit, but we've got a nice tidy run through turn 2 as well. A little bit wide, but we'll still keep it on the track. I'm looking at the minimap to see if Fernando Alonso will jump Giancarlo Fisichella. It looks like he might do it. Braking a little bit early, keeping it a little bit wider. That is going to be very tight between the two of them. And I think Alonso might have just about done it. I'll find out once I've been into the pits myself, as the tyres are starting to wear out there, as we can see on the bottom left graphic, as we've cut the corner once again. And that is 6 seconds. 6 seconds. Oh, that is just brutal. As Juan Pablo Montoya is now 1.7 behind us. I suspect we're going to be jumped by the likes of Kimi Räikkönen here in the pit stops due to that corner cut there. I mean, I say corner cut, it was barely a corner cut. It wasn't worth 6 seconds, that is for certain. That is one of the main issues here with the 2006 game. But we'll come into the pits and we'll find out if the 2 Renaults have swapped position in the pit lane. Oh, that's wide. So Pablo Montoya continues on. We're into the pits, of course. We have a little pit stop mini game here in 2006. So there's the fire. I believe it's had to be held up due to us. And we will come in now into the pit lane. Bam, 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 bam. 8.1. That is a decent pit stop time. I think my best is 7.9 on this game, and Fisichella has been jumped by Fernando Alonso in the pit lane, and we are out behind them once again. So very good run from us, but Montoya might be looking to try jump us with the overcut he's got on us, because of course he stayed out. He was only like 1.5 seconds behind us as we came into the pits, but we are firmly ahead of Kimi Räikkönen and Rubens Barrichello, who I've just realised Barrichello has actually jumped Kimi Räikkönen in the pit stops. So there we go. But Fernando Alonso with that second choice of pit stop is now ahead of Fisichella, and it looks like he's pulling away now. Keeping it tidy, just making sure I don't run over that oil spill. There it is. So someone's clearly retired in this race. Still got the flags. No, it's gone now. The brake hold behind us 1.3. That was the slowest sector. Who was that? That was McLaren, I want to say. No, it was a Renault. Fernando Alonso. Well then, Fernando Alonso will not finish for 2 races in a row. As Montoya is heading out of the pit lane now.
We're at 2/3.
There he is, and it is very tight between the two of us. Montoya has got the inside line.
Michael Schumacher third. Fourth is Fisichella.
And he is ahead, at least for now. No, we've run wide, trying to push as hard as we can. Can we catch back up to him? We were comfortably ahead before we started making those little mistakes with the corners.
That's a jump of 4 places.
Throw it through nicely. We've run a little bit wide, but that hasn't cost us much time. Just run a little bit wide there on the exit of the corner. We've had to lift off a little bit more than I wanted to there. Let's see what run we can get through the double right-handers. Running a little bit wide once again, but it's still a very nice run through there. What about the hairpin? Braking as late as I dare. Getting it slowed down nicely. And that is a green sector time as we try at least hang on to Juan Pablo Montoya, who has jumped at least 3 people in the pit stops. We've had a very nice run through the left-hander. Just keeping it tidy as I can. Run wide there on the penultimate corner, trying to find slipstream from this far back on Juan Pablo Montoya, who has jumped me in the pit stops. Oh, a very wide exit, but a very tight, very wide entry, sorry, but a very tight exit, as that was a nice run through the final corner. It was wide, however, has allowed us to get the best run we can possibly get down the main straight. Just a little clip of the curb and we've run wide once again. The understeer here behind Juan Pablo Montoya isn't exactly helping, as he's now starting to run away from me. Of course, he does have fresher tyres. We'll be on similar fuel levels now, but those 1 lap fresher tyres will be helping him out here. There's a couple of slight lifts there. A nice run through the right-hander, getting very much onto the curb there. So we've run a little bit wide. That hasn't cost us much time, as we're still just about hanging on to Montoya. That is another green sector time, as we try hang on to the McLaren. And it's not going very well. He's now a 1.5 seconds ahead of us, but on the bright side, we are pulling away from Kimi Räikkönen and Rubens Barrichello. A little bit tidier that time. We kept it a little bit tighter as well. And we're still pulling away from Rubens Barrichello, but Jenson Button up in 2nd place. Of course, this is the season where he got his first race win in Hungary. So let's see if we can repeat that in the game later on in the season. But yeah, Montoya is losing us now. He's 1.6 seconds ahead, as we can't quite hang on. We don't have the pace in the car to do so, which is a little bit of a shame. Of course, it does beg the question here in the opening rounds of the season what we can do if we're in a very decent car, because 6th place in a Toro Rosso is a very good achievement. We are at Malaysian Bahrain. We were battling for the race win before Jarno Trulli took me out with a dive bomb, trying to follow Fisichella through in the final corner, which didn't pay off for me, and clearly it looked like it didn't pay off for Jarno Trulli either, as that is a 7-second slowdown. I'm just gonna go off the racing line, let Barrichello through. There's no point, as we've got another failure seemingly. Right, we were pulling away from Barrichello, so let's see if this time around we can catch up. There is that oil spill. So who else has retired from this race? Get a tidy run through there, and we're into the slipstream of Rubens Barrichello this time around. So now we have a battle on our hands as Barrichello, a very early braking point into the final corner, and we run into the back of him. No damage, thankfully, as we get into the slipstream once again. And I'm going to plan for very early braking into turn 1. Not quite as much, but we still get very close to his rear end as he turns in on us. And that is a nice run through turn 2, which we couldn't get whilst we were trying to chase down Juan Pablo Montoya, as we're on the penultimate lap here. With an earlier braking, and that has pinged us very wide, as we not got that right at all. And now we're defending from Kimi Räikkönen once again. And that's a little bit too tight. That is a little bit too tight. That is a corner cut, yet the other one wasn't. We're 6 seconds! What? I'll make sure we hang on to a point at least. There's the cough. It was coming eventually. I said I wasn't going to get through Bahrain without coughing. Of course the race was ended early, but we haven't got through Malaysia without coughing. And there's another car in the background. That looked like a Red Bull of some sorts, maybe. Oh, that is wide. Everything is going wrong here as we... Oh! Heitfeld just turning into the side of me. We have defended that place for now. It is David Coulthard, in fact, who was the other car that was approaching us behind. Now, Jarno Trulli nearly tried to cut back a move on me there. That hasn't worked, but no doubt Jarno Trulli will try throw it up the inside into turn 1. Gonna break calmly. Yep, Jarno Trulli just throws it up the inside. There is that spill. So glad I didn't stick to the racing line this time around. But Jarno Trulli has taken the final points position away as we are now on the final lap of the Grand Prix, chasing down Jarno Trulli once again. A nice calm run through there as we get as close as we can to Jarno Trulli through turn 4. Turned in a little bit too early. That has drifted us wide. That is not what we wanted. We've had to lift off massively there through the next turn, and Jarno Trulli has pulled on a substantial gap on us. Nah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm so done. Actually, we don't come on the track dangerously. And Heitfeld, who turned into us beforehand, has now gone around the outside. He didn't leave us too much room there, as the tyres are screaming at me now. As, oh my days! Heitfeld has brake checked me into the flat out left-hander, and we are out once again.
Luckily, he seems to have got away unscathed.
So just like Fernando Alonso, we cannot finish a race.
For Formula 1 racing. It's typical of the Herman Tilke circuits of the modern era.
We have been classified this time around, and we've been classified ahead of Liuzzi. Albers, I believe that will give Midlands 9th place in the constructors' standings. The drivers, Massa leads the way, Montoya 2nd, Button 3rd, Schumacher 4th, Fisichella in 5th, Räikkönen 6th, Räikkönen 7th, Trulli 8th, Ralf Schumacher 9th, Coulthard 10th, Rosberg 11th. Of course, these all haven't scored points. It's based on their finishing positions. Alonso down in last place. We're 20th now. And Red Bull move up into 6th place, Ferrari still in 1st place, McLaren 2nd, Honda joint on points now in 3rd, Renault 4th. And yeah, Midlands have moved up into 9th place. We're down to 10th place now. But unfortunately, we were unable to finish in that race. We haven't had an email from Toro Rosso. I'm unsure as to what our target finishing position is. I believe we might have met it. Disappointment for Michael Webber. Disappointment for Michael Webber. Disappointment for me. I was running in the points for most of it. Information. Player statistics. Total finishes 0. Expected GP position 20. So we did meet our objectives in that second race, despite the fact that we didn't finish it, which is somewhat impressive to do. The world is watching. We're on a speed to go testing at Albert Park. Alright, what time it is? Is it? It is 20 to 1. I think I'm going to end it off here with a potential stream, maybe Wednesday, maybe. I say Wednesday, that's tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday, Friday. But for now, I don't actually have access to my gaming PC or my PS4 to maybe stream the Journeyman series, which streaming that I imagine will be good fun to do, and just not edit it down as much, and maybe just tweak how I do it a little bit to have it work for streaming as well. But yeah, 2 races, 2 DNFs. We are the Toro Rosso second driver, but we did meet our objective because we were classified at Malaysia, so that's a little bit of a bonus there. So I'm going to switch back over to the computer because, as I said at the start of the stream, and I'll say it now, it just doesn't like me. Just doesn't like me with the HDMI splitter with F1 Championship Edition. So I shall flick it over to I'll go to the starting screen. I double clicked it. Oh, there we go. I'll go to the starting screen and I'll just turn that game sound off. The starting screen doesn't really work, does it? Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, stream for like an hour and a half, which is approximately well, Gata software says an hour and a half. This says 40 minutes. Peak current concurrent 2. Yes, lads. Let's see if I can just quickly grab an outro. Stream ending and ending. Yes, this'll do. I've just. Can I edit whilst still being live? If I go to this one, there is an overlay on that. Edit scenes. I am still live. Remove all over. Yes, this is professional. Professional work right here. Still live. That is impressive. Alright, downloads. Is it in downloads? Might not be in downloads. It's in pictures. Of course it is. Professional editing right here. Just stretch that out a little bit so it covers the entire screen. BAM! There we go. There we go. And I shall leave us with apparently this one's going, so I shall play this one. Restart it, and I shall leave you till the next video.